Penn Jillette, he on his podcast earlier in the week, he went. It's called Penn Sunday School. Recent episode of his podcast, Penn Sunday School. He ripped into Obama and the drug policies, and it just becomes interestingly relevant after reading the stuff and the details about Obama's marijuana use as a kid. But as you mentioned, also cocaine. And he writes that sort of if Obama had been caught with the marijuana he says he uses, and quoting Obama, maybe a little blow, which is how Obama referred to his own, which of course anybody who says maybe a little blow.
Oh, yeah. If he says he might have done a little blow, one, there's no might have. You did the blow.
Yeah.
Okay. Number two, it wasn't a little.
It wasn't a little.
Okay.
Right. It was 10 times.
Because here's like, you don't even bother admitting. If you had done like cocaine 2 or 3 times, you don't even bother admitting it, I think.
Well, that's not true. I think it's fair to say that there are people who tried it a couple of times and didn't like it and stopped.
Yeah.
I know people like that.
Yeah.
Oh,
right.
sure.
Right, but then he would say, look, I was doing smoking marijuana, I tried cocaine a couple of times, it bothered me, I didn't do it again.
Over under on how many times Barry Obama actually did a hit of cocaine or whatever?
26.
I was going to go with 14, so I'm right between you guys.
I think it's, obviously I think it's more likely that. Because then you just say I did it for a period of a couple weeks.
I take the under, actually.
Well, maybe we'll find out.
Yeah.
That could be our. We ever get a chance to interview
if we get in the line with President Obama, we can ask him.
Yeah. We had this discussion one day.
Mr. President, you know that time when you said you did blow?
So Mike was trying that, and I'm like, hey, so anyway, we play poker in L.A. I hear you play poker.
And I'd be like,
hookers.
All of a sudden, I'll have the conversation with him. So he writes, talks about Obama said he maybe used a little blow. Penn Jillette writes, if he'd been busted under his laws, he would have done harm. Can we curse? Have we decided we can?
Yeah, of course.
So I'm quoting Penn Jillette here. If he'd been busted under his laws, he would have done hard fucking time. And if he had done time in prison, time in federal prison, time for his weed and a little blow, he would not be president of the United States of America. He would not have gone to a fancy-ass college. He would not have sold books that sold millions and millions of copies and made millions and millions of dollars. He would not have a beautiful, smart wife. He would not have a great job. He would have been in a fucking prison. And it's not a goddamn joke. People who smoke marijuana must be set free. It is insane to lock people up.
So I think we magically hit a tipping point in marijuana. I don't know if it was 2 months ago, 6 months ago, but the country's done with it. The war on drugs and making marijuana illegal, I don't mean we're at 80%, and I don't mean it's over, but I mean like we've hit the tipping point and we're now rapidly going towards,
I think we're done with this
stupid war on drugs.
Because we've been slowly marching toward legalization of marijuana, and I think it's just been accelerated recently.
I've seen the polls jump and jump and jump, quantum leaps, going from like, oh, we're inching towards, maybe it should be legal, to boom, all of a sudden Gallup should be legal, right? Boom, Rasmussen, 15-point margin or 20-point margin. What the hell? How did we get a 20-point margin in favor of legalization in a year, right? It's amazing.
The question is, from a political point of view, what kind of political priority would it be, not just for politicians, but for the people who are in that 60% who are now saying, oh, come on, let's make it legal? Do they care enough about making it legal to hold the president's crackdown against it? I sense still not. I still sense that it's got to be pretty far down the priority.
I think it's the number one issue for very, very few people.
No, but that's a little bit in your bubble. Look, I hear you. That's the old conventional wisdom on it. And among politicians, it's number 873 as a priority. Once Mitt Romney asked about it, he refused to answer. He said, ask a serious question.
Yeah, right.
Okay? Economy. He kept saying that, right? That just happened recently, right? So, but among libertarians, among the young who aren't sure if they're right or left or what their politics is, I think this is the number one issue. And now, are they going to vote? Is it going to affect their vote? A little bit more than people realize. I think the old thought was, oh, those guys don't vote.
I think we're both being a little extreme. It's not. I don't believe it's number one issue among an infinitesimally small point of view. I would say that Michael and I may well be underestimating for some people that it is important, that it's not 800th, that it might be in their top 5, that it might matter. I mean, I still think that you'd rather have a secure future coming out of college than have marijuana be legal. But I get it, because you're right. The people who do care about it do care about it, and they care about it a lot.
Yeah, and those guys know that Obama's done a crackdown.
Yes.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
For guys where marijuana is their 12th priority, none of them have any idea that Obama's done a crackdown at all, right? But for guys who've got marijuana in their top 3 issues,
Yeah, I mean, look,
they're pissed at Obama.
These guys because guys are doing podcasts about it. And Penn Jillette, by the way, makes very clear he doesn't drink, doesn't do drugs, never done a drug in his life. So it's not like it's his way of life that he's trying to protect.
I'm the same way. I mean, I drink, but I mean, I don't do pot on a regular basis. I would constantly be skipped for not doing TA, total absorption or whatever.
I also think
but it's a matter of principle, and I love that Penn Jillette cares that much about it.
No, and I think what Ben just said about him sort of adds more, sort of gives him even greater standing to be able to say that. But also, it's okay to be different when you're president than you were in college. I mean, thank God people are different when they're president than when they were in college.
I was better in college.
If I had stayed the same right now, we'd be doing the Republican version.
That's what I'm saying. So I mean, we all evolve, and we're never stranger than what we see as when we see old pictures.
Let's transition to another relevant story.
But I also think it's odd that Teller has said nothing about this.
That's actually the line of the day.
Strangely silent. Yeah.